Bye bye Smögen.
1 week earlier we started in Oslo and drove from there via Sund, Fredrikstad, Kosta, Grebbestad and Hamburgsund to Smögen. Now in the second part we are cruising to Gullholmen, from there via Marstrand to Gothenburg, then we take a longer shot to Anholt, afterwards we sail to Gilleleie and finally to Copenhagen.
Good morning! We are driving from Smögen to Gullholmen, that's about 12-13 nautical miles. Yeah, the weather is beautiful. Forecast for today is 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah, the sea is calm today, so no sailing wind for us. Yeah, we look forward to the next town.
After 13 nautical miles, we are arriving in Gullholmen.
The marina is quite busy, but lucky us, we were having a good day and getting a good berth on the package as advised by the harbour master. In summer, free berths are rare in this very popular marina. In the morning, usually the first yachts already circle and wait for the first boats leaving. Gullholmen has been recommended to us by a German sailor in Smögen as calm and contemplative. And that's how we perceive it too, even today, where some streets at the harbour are a little bit more crowded due to a sporting event. This competition consists of running and swimming, and right now we are watching the start. Here in Gullholmen, we are roughly 50 kilometers north of Gothenburg. The island of this town is next to the island Oros and is like many of the small inhabited islands car-free. It can only be reached via water, either by your own boat or by ferry. The ferry approaches the island several times a day. From our point of view, a stop at Gullholmen is worth in any case, because nature and archipelago romanticism can be combined well with an island hike. The small town has a supermarket and a few restaurants. Located at the waterfront, the former fishermen houses are often painted red, as it is typical in Sweden, and fit very well into the picture of this great landscape. The backside of the island impresses with a rocky coast and some small bays. For us it worked out well and was a good change to the louder Smögen. And we like this variety very much, sometimes a little bit more quiet and undisturbed, and then with a lot of life again.
Today on July 27th, a lunar eclipse can be seen in Europe. When it is getting dark, we all are hoping for a cloudless and clear sky, but unfortunately it is becoming cloudy. However, we are still lucky enough to see part of the lunar eclipse, since the moon is moving out of the shadow and the sky is clear now. Very impressive. Farewell to Gullholmen. It has been very nice. Of course, our berth has been taken immediately after we left. A lovely view back at the beautiful island.
Good morning from Sweden. We are now sailing to Marstrand, which is around about 20 miles from Gullholmen, where we spent last night. It's nice weather today, sailing weather.
Yeah, we are 5 before, the gusts are up to 20 knots. Yeah, we hope that we find a berth in Marstrand, that's always a busy place. We will see. We're close to Marstrand. little shower at the moment. I think half an hour, then we are in Marstrand. The castle of Marstrand at portside ahead.
Sitting magnificently on top of the hill, the castle can be seen as a landmark of Marstrand from far away. There are 13 nautic miles for us getting here. We continue passing historical buildings, and on portside we can already see the marina. A nice view back to the castle. We are lucky enough to find a nice mooring in the marina, which is not as busy as we expected. Here we also meet Alexia and Bene from Flensburg, who are cruising with their sailing yacht family business. We are going to meet them again during our journey a few times, as we are both cruising south. Of course, we also take a look at Marstrand. Despite its high publicity, the town is rather small and has just 500 people living on the two islands Marstrandsö and Koö. As quite typical for Sweden, the houses are built in wood.
We are on Marstrandsö, and this island is also car-free. Ferries connect both islands and operate on a regular basis to bring mainly visitors to this town. Especially in the summer months, people are visiting, because the place invites you to stroll on the promenade and enjoy the harbor life. It is especially busy during midsummer, as there is a youth open-air party. Within the sailing community, Marstrand is really popular and famous, as from here some well-known regattas, such as the Swedish Match Cup and the Marstrandsregatten, are starting. Of course, we are not missing the walk up to the castle. Sadly, we cannot get in, because we are too late for the opening hours, but at least we can visit the grounds of the castle. Its history goes back to the 17th century, and it was originally used to secure the border. In the meantime, it was also used as a prison. Since the mid-30s, the castle is under protection of the Swedish government. We like this place, even though the weather does not really play along today. Morning!
On the descent, we are enjoying the beautiful view back to Marstrand and the Malti Castle. Over and over, we are impressed of this wonderful, clear and clean water of the Baltic Sea here in the north. Here as well, our trip takes us through small and narrow fjords. And again, you can see smaller settlements on the larger islands. Of course, the number of water sports enthusiasts is still high here.
Hey and good morning! We are sailing from Marstrand to Göteborg. We have 3 to 4 Beaufort. Yesterday we had heavy rain in Marstrand. Today the weather is beautiful, blue sky, a few clouds. Yeah, we are enjoying sailing here between the little islands in Sweden.
It is another wonderful day in the Swedish archipelagos. But how did these islands form? During the last ice age, while huge ice masses moved from north to south, these islands were formed into their present shapes. These ice masses covered the landscape beneath completely. The movement of the ice formed the terrain as a mixture of scree and water carried off the hills, so that this typical flat, rounded shape could evolve. The islands can range from a few square meters up to a few square kilometers in size, and are the reasons for this unique, fantastic landscape.
Gothenburg ahead.
It has been a nice sailing day, 22 nautic miles from Marstrand to Gothenburg. Here we are driving under the bridge, which is a distinctive mark of Gothenburg. I am visiting the city for the second time already. And again, it's a great feeling driving up the river Göta right through the city. The Marina Lilla Bommen is our destination, which is approximately 4 to 5 nautic miles up the river. At starboard you can see the Gothenburg Opera House and the 86-meter high office building Skanska Skrapan. Both are located directly at the marina. Today it's surprisingly empty, and many berths are available. The sail ship Viking is based here and is the largest four-master ever built in Scandinavia. It was launched in 1906 and today it is used as a museum ship.
Gothenburg has many canals that shape the cityscape. With just under 1 million inhabitants, it is the second largest city in Sweden after Stockholm and before Malmö. It is a cultural center and has a nice atmosphere with a vibrant and diverse cafe scene that can be experienced in the old quarter of Haga. We are eating typical cinnamon buns in one of the sidewalk cafes and are enjoying the afternoon.
Next morning we are starting early because we want to do a longer cruise to Anholt. Since I'm letting Anke sleep in the cabin, I am departing single-handed. Of course, there's not much going on at this time, because it is shortly after sunrise. There's almost no wind, and I am enchanted by this unique atmosphere. To reach the open water, we are driving south through the well-known Gothenburg archipelagos. These islands offer a lot and are popular destinations for mariners as well. But we have other plans today. We are now on the Kattegat and are sailing on southern course. The family business moored yesterday in the Marina Langedrag in Gothenburg, which is a good alternative to Lilla Bommen. It is passing us here and it's also on the way to Anholt.
We are sailing to Anholt. We left Gothenburg 20 past 5 this morning. We had good wind, 5 to 4 in the morning, whole day upwind. Now it's a little bit calmer. around 10 knots. 50 miles are behind and 20 ahead of us. Sun is coming out. Yeah, we look forward to Anholt.
After a 10-hour drive, Anholt is ahead port side. Under nice sailing wind, it has been 67 nautical miles today.
We are approaching Anholt.
Suche noch, wo es reingefahren sind.
I'm looking forward to staying here, and I'm not even here for the first time. 2 years ago, I already visited the island sailing single-handed. This time, I'm also looking forward to show it to Anke. As expected, the harbor is very busy, but we are lucky enough to get a good berth.
On Anholt, we are staying 3 nights to relax a bit and enjoy the island life. We took out our folding bikes and are now on the way to the small village. At noon, we stop at the fish smokehouse to fortify ourselves. You should definitively not miss out on this when visiting the island. The rest of the place is nice and contemplative. The island, located in the middle of the Kattegat, is just over 22 square kilometers large and has less than 150 inhabitants. The easiest way to get here is from Grenaa, which is located on the Danish coast and about 28 nautical miles away. In addition to a few forests and meadows, the island has a heathland which is typical for Anholt. On the north coast of the island is a beautiful sandy beach, which invites you to swim and is even more beautiful than the beach on the west coast. We are cycling back through a small pine forest, which is quite rare on the island. The next morning we are saying goodbye to Alexia and Bene, whom we shall meet again in Copenhagen.
Gute Fahrt! Tschüss! Ciao!
Ciao, viel Spaß!
Und auch noch einen guten Rückturn!
Ja, danke schön.
Sag mal deinen Nachnamen. Walter. Mit TH. Okay. Ich bin auch bei Facebook.
Schöne Reise euch! Macht's gut!
Danke Bene, euch auch, viel Spaß!
We are staying another day and enjoying the relaxed island life.
Today we also have to say farewell to this beautiful island.
Hey, good morning. We just left Anholt, the beautiful island. We had 2 wonderful days there and are now on the trip to Gilleleagh. I think around about 8 hours under engine because there's no sailing wind at the moment.
Luckily, we got a good sailing wind and can nicely cruise towards Zeeland. We have chosen Gilleleagh as the next stop because the next day will be a shorter drive to Copenhagen. Our destination is already ahead. We are driving through one of the huge algae carpets because the midsummer weather conditions of recent weeks have led to a massive algal bloom here in the Baltic Sea. It is about 45 nautical miles from Anholt to Gilleleagh. we find good mooring in the full marina. Gilleleje is a beautiful, old, authentic fishing village located on the so-called Danish Riviera. The city has about 6,500 inhabitants. Fortunately, a large part of the idyllic small streets and old houses with thatched roofs of the original village could be retained. Today it is a lively tourist, trading and fishing town with Zealand's largest fishing port. We are enjoying the evening in one of the well-visited restaurants. Farewell to Gilleleje. It has been a nice stop. As during our arrival, many blue-green algae are in the water again. We are passing this picturesque coast of Zealand towards Öresund. There are many beautiful beaches in Denmark, but it is said that in Zealand they are the best in country. The Danish Riviera ranges for about 230 kilometers from the Bay of Seriø in the west to Öresund in the east. It has many idyllic beach resorts that usually offer clear water, fine sand and shallow beaches. It is great cruising in great weather. Here we are already near Elsinore. The castle Kronborg is starboard. It is a unique view at the castle, whose roots go back to the 15th century, when it was used to collect payments from the ships crossing the Öresund. After renovations, the Baroque palace was opened as a museum in 1935, and since the year 2000, Kronborg has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site. They are crossing many ferries between Helsingør in Denmark and Helsingborg in Sweden, and you really have to be careful not to get in their way.
Good morning! We are in the Öresund and are heading to Copenhagen. We left Gilleleje around 10 o'clock. A beautiful day. We just passed Helsingør. It's a nice castle. Yeah, now we're looking forward to Copenhagen.
We are enjoying the wonderful day at the east coast of Zealand, cruising south. As you can see, the warm weather really invites us to cool off in the water.
And now riding in the Öresund. Yeah, lunchtime now. Very nice dish. Good appetit.
Here we are entering Copenhagen and are heading to the marina Langelinie, where we are meeting Alexia and Bene again.
Hello!
We got a good berth. It is about 36 nautic miles from Gilleleje to here.
The district Langelinie is located in the center of Copenhagen, and the marina is quite well equipped. The world-famous bronze figure, the Little Mermaid, is right next to it. The district is well visited by day trippers and cruise liners heading to Copenhagen, which also like to dock at the pier in Langelinie. We are biking to the city center. Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark with over 600,000 inhabitants. It has been awarded several times as the most livable city in the world, due to the interesting architecture which can be found in many places, many green areas, excellent bike paths, great gastronomy and the clean harbor, which you can even swim in.
A canal tour is also recommended. and leads past some buildings worth seeing, such as the Opera House, the Black Diamond Library, and of course the Little Mermaid. But also Christianshavn, with many houseboats and historic houses. The Amalienborg Palace is a Copenhagen city residence of the Danish Queen Margaret II. It has 4 Rococo palaces, and 2 of them are open to the public. Here we are in Nyhavn, probably the landmark in Copenhagen, with many small colorful houses which line up along the canal. Here you can enjoy the hustle and bustle atmosphere, and the many small restaurants at the waterfront invite you to have a cool drink. In December there is supposed to be a cozy Christmas market with glögg and a lot of hygge, but we are still far from that. Copenhagen presents itself as an interesting, young and modern city, with a great history, great cultural offerings, and even has some central mooring for sailors. So it is definitely worth the trip.
Morning!
Good morning! We are now in Copenhagen, and that is the end of the cruise. We started 2.5 weeks ago in Oslo. Very, very nice in South Norway, West Sweden and Denmark at the end. We made 339 nautical miles over the last 2.5 weeks. Most times we had beautiful weather like today, a little bit cloudy sometimes in the mornings. Yeah, now we enjoy the last day here in Copenhagen. Tomorrow we will relocate Jumbo to another marina, probably Kastrup, which is near to the airport. Then we fly home. I will return in 3 weeks with my friend Wilm, and then we start sailing home.
So we will spend our last day here in Copenhagen, and for me it will be the final day of the cruise. It was fantastic, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!
Bye!
In the evening we are meeting Alexia and Bene, and are all driving from the Marina Langeline with 2 dinghies to the other side of the harbour to visit the street food festival with a wonderful selection of different dishes.